Isha, we good? We straight? You all right
We
with
good.
that? Okay. Get you one of them. All right. Don't worry too
Thank
much
you.
about his pockets, man. If he growing, you know what I mean, but he understands the path, you might want to give him a chance.
But growing at what age do you stop? You should already be grown. Like what age should you be grown? I mean, people should constantly grow. We get that. So don't throw that in there.
Yeah,
Don't throw that in there.
once you
We
start,
understand that people will grow until death. We understand that. But what age should you have substantial growth?
I mean, men hit their financial stride at 40, 45, 45, 50. So, I mean, what is it? You just dismissed the lawyer last week because he had a kid and his wife kicked the bucket.
No, and I feel like he might have watched the podcast because he just hit me yesterday, and I was like, "Oh," and I'm like, he hit me with the happy holidays. I said, "Oh shit!"
Oh.
But no, it's not just about it's about time. So if you're an attorney, you have 3 other businesses going, and you have 2 small kids.
Ain't enough time.
I'm a family person, so that means there's not enough time. I don't listen. I'm not about to be just showing up. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, late night,
especially with no little kids. That ain't happening.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind the kids, but
Yeah. So, final thoughts on can men still lead and take the mantle, even if their funds are not what up to par?
It's not even about the funds, Ham. You said
now you
that dictatorship. You're not going to tell me what to do and not be able to have money to back all that mouth up. I'm sorry. I got an opinion.
So, like, if I lose my job, then not you the leader.
Absolutely. I want my house clean when I get home.
You're gonna have to make a sandwich or 2.
If I lose my job when I wake up tomorrow, you the leader.
I am.
Could you imagine that? That would be like
crazy.
That would like a 2-week grace.
Ain't no 2 weeks. That next morning, 6 a.m. I'm be like, make some breakfast.
Damn, no grace period.
None.
We don't get no grace period, man.
I think you get a grace, especially if you have money saved. That means you could still,
Yeah.
But if you're sitting around, you unshaved, you over there, same sweatpants.
But you want to know what too? Like a lot of men claim that they want to be the leader of the household. They want to be the man of the household, but they don't have the skills. They're not mature enough. They're not ready. So don't sign up for something that you're not prepared for. You need to go take an exam somewhere because you're still in the testing phase.
Where are you supposed to learn that skill at if you don't?
I don't know. But not with me.
Get in.
Your parents, your parents, your family dynamic, that's important. I now vet. So, what's your relationship with your parents?
Oh yeah, that's
important. What kind of family? So, if you come from, listen, if it was just you and your mom, what was that situation like? Because I'm gonna cross you off.
Well, you got to be able to have on-the-job training at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, that too. Did you have mentors? Did you have, who was in your life? Because a lot of times people want these positions that they're just not qualified for.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of women would be fine with allowing men to lead if they had the skills to do so. But nobody's gonna just lead or follow somebody blindly.
Mm-hmm.
The verbs that get me allow. Ain't no woman allowing me to lead. That's not a thing.
Okay,
right. But leaders just lead
over here.
Leaders will just lead. Leaders just lead. There's no leaders just lead. There's no allowing it. You don't need permission to do something that you naturally have the skill to do. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're asking, I need to lead, you need to do X, Y, and Z, but you have no skills to do so, I can't follow somebody blindly that doesn't have the skills to do that.
Are we afforded the opportunity? The Arab man don't go through that struggle. The East Indian
because he leads. He comes here and in 2 weeks he got two bodegas open.
Their governments invest in them, but women trust them to lead. They women already in order. They already understand the dynamic. We gotta show and prove and teach y'all and see I could do it too. Cause if you didn't have a dad and so on and so forth, I mean, we gotta go through a lot of bullshit just to get where we are supposed to be.
I mean, you're only going through what they should also go through too. So you talking about
Right.
a cultural construct. You're talking about a cultural construct that does not apply to Black people given our history. Huh?
It's broken, right? That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, it's absolutely broken, but it's
Is it
broken in
broken?
multiple.
Is it
Yeah,
broken? Do they
yeah.
families stay together forever?
Huh?
Do they families stay together forever?
Ooh, I mean, well,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
By
yes,
yeah,
choice?
yes.
right. Not necessarily by choice,
Not
but
by choice.
Like,
You're also talking about women that have been circumcised. So I mean, listen, if I have no sensation, I mean, just do whatever. You know what? Whatever.
we get
I mean, like you. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I don't care. Listen,
that's not fair. That's
that
not
you just
No.
compared us to those women
no.
that have
It's,
go
No,
through
it's,
circumcision at 13 years old.
no, that's not Muslim culture. That's not in Islam. So no, that's not a thing.
That is the thing.
I'm just saying their family structures, even when they get here, their family structures were in place before they put up the bodegas, before they bought the 7-Eleven, before they did any of that.
yeah,
Their family
but it
structures are already
also,
in place.
just because it's in place doesn't mean that it's a healthy structure. So, I mean, again, what we're talking about is what should be considered healthy. Meaning,
Well, how can you consider it unhealthy?
no, what I'm saying is it does not mean that it's healthy. So I'm not saying that it's unhealthy. I'm saying it just because
Doesn't
they're
mean it is.
together, just because they have that hierarchy structure built in, doesn't mean that it's healthy. And so, as it relates to Black people in our relationships, I do think that you have to qualify and be qualified as a leader, as a man, to lead a woman. You know, like, I'm not going to allow you to dictate or tell me what should or should not happen in our household if, based off of your past, you have failed miserably. Then I would be a fool to allow you to lead me into hell. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's fair, right? But
I'm mad
how
at
do
that.
you go ahead, Corey? Go ahead.
I wasn't saying. I said I'm not mad at that. That makes sense.
That does make sense. But see, with them, how do you measure success? The longevity, the continuity of those relationships.
Mhm.
They're all in the same construct and it seems to be working because, like Poop said, they come over here and get the 7-Eleven, the bodega, in the corner store, in the gas station, right? And it's already in place. So, based on that, wouldn't you deem it successful?
No, again,
No.
looks can be deceiving. We don't know. We're not in those relationships, so we can't speak on it. Only thing we can speak on is what we feel would be healthy for us. So to me, that's what's most relative and what we should be focusing on. And to me, as a man, if you are wanting to lead a household, you have to prove to the woman that you're capable of leading a household by demonstrated activities. And if you're unable to demonstrate your leadership capabilities, then by no means am I, obliged to have you lead me or our kids. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's a tall task to ask of someone when you don't really have the context of their previous relationships, though. So
It's
you can look at a man's past and say, "Oh, I haven't seen you do this X Y Z checkbox
Right.
checkbox checkbox," but you really don't have any context of what happened to that man from his upbringing until his previous relationships. So if that's the
Bingo.
criteria or prerequisite, then that's not a failure. That's not a system of success. That
that comes with time, though. That comes through dating. So meaning, as we're dating, I'm seeing how you're managing your finances, I'm seeing how you manage your single household, and I'm going to use that as my prerequisite in determining whether or not you're capable of leading me in our future household. So it's the same thing. Like, I'm feeling you out, you're feeling me out to see if I would be a fit mother, if I would be a fit spouse. Like, we're all testing each other out, like, as we're going through the dating process. I'm just saying that, as we're going through this process, let's not be blind to the red flags that are there. Meaning, you could say, I'm gonna lead you to the gates of heaven, but if you're showing me nothing but hell, Yeah, like I mean,
well, that's not something you should be with anyway.
no, you're right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
But I think to your point, Styles, that it is unfair to put expectations on people that don't have the skills to do so. And like, and I've learned that from experience of putting expectations on a man that, would give me whatever I asked for, but sometimes he just did not have the skills to do some of the things that I required, right? It's like, I need you to do these manly tasks. And because he just didn't have the skills to do so, it just wasn't a match. It doesn't mean that he wasn't a good person, but you, like you said, you have to vet people. Or sometimes you might, at the time when you meet them, you might grow out of, depending on how early you are in the relationship, you might just grow out of that space.
Yeah.
But then you
Right.
said
Like,
he can buy those services, right? You said he can send AAA.
well, that's AAA, right? But what about protection, right? Like if you're walking down the street and he just doesn't have the skill to be like, or not the skill, but it's just it's not natural for him to be protective of women, for example. Like if he's used to seeing women in leadership roles, like, oh, you got that. Somebody comes up to the woman like, hey, da, da, da. Like, oh, you could handle that conversation, right? It's not natural for him to come and protect that woman. If that's not what I like in a man, is it fair for me to be like, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? Or do I need to accept him for who he is?
Yeah, that's
I mean, yeah, I mean, you accept,
You have to accept
and you
people for
move
who they
on.
are, and you have to find somebody who matches what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't put false expectations on men.
But we do it all the time because it's the
We
man
do.
that we want. Or
Right,
it's the,
right.
I think women, we do it a lot more than men do. Men see women for exactly who we are typically, and women, we see men for the potential that's there.
Right.
So I mean, we do it
And we
all the
could,
time. We say, oh, well, if he's not this, then I'm not gonna, date him. But if he look good, and if he has the financial means, we'll give him
right.
a lot more opportunity than we would give,
Opportunities.
someone
And
else.
what happens is a lot of times is not that they're bad men, but they end up with women that they're just not equally yoked with.
Yeah.
And so these good men sometimes get ruined, you know what I mean? Because they're beaten down with these expectations that they just can't fulfill for the
Yeah.
woman that they're with, right? So they're trying and they're trying and they're trying to make this woman so happy for something with skills that they don't have. Right? Go find somebody that's happy with the little bit of skills that you have. Somebody might
She
be
said the
happy
little
with
bit of
that.
skills.
Right? You might go find a woman that's a leader, right? Go find a woman that wants to be in charge, that wants to boss you around, and that might be a better match for you. But like a woman like myself who's looking for somebody to lead, I don't need to be with somebody that doesn't want to be a leader and beat this man up. That's not fair to them. Right? Go find you a woman that's going to lead you. I'm going to go find a man that leads me. And that's how that works. But then what happens is these people stay in these relationships and they just get beat down, right?
Yeah.
Women tear men up.
Yeah.
Women tear men up.
Yeah. Damn.
I concur.
Fact. Damn, interesting.